welcome to No Movies in Hell.
I'm LaClaw Scott, and today we are reviewing The Fablemans.
So this is Steven Spielberg's kind of autobiography-ish movie.
Yes.
What did you think going
I
in?
so going in, I really didn't know much. I just knew that it was going to be kind of autobiographical, very different from other blockbusters that Steven Spielberg either produces or directs. And we know that his last film was The West Side Story. So I had a little glimpse into like the plot of this film, but still wanted to see what everything would look like.
Going in, I had seen the trailer a couple times. I knew Michelle Williams was in it as the mom and Paul Dano was in it as the dad. It looked like it was going to be good. It didn't look, big special effects or, crazy things, but it looked interesting. And it was. Then it got a little bit John Hughesy, sort of in the high school
Ah,
part of
oh
it.
yeah.
Especially when like they're at the dance and they're in the hallway with the lockers and no one else is walking down the hallway except
Oh yeah.
him and like whoever he's interacting with. So that seemed a little bit contrived, but
Yeah. It's definitely one of those like he's a narrator, right? And so there's a point where it's just kind of like telling a story, especially in the high school scenes, trying to, yes, this is his love of film, but also like these are the things that happen to him, but it's like a very sweet, like it turns out to be very endearing as opposed to like how it probably should be of like, not giving these folks their shine. And also kind of like a character study of how the storytelling about his family and ultimately like how he positions his mom. Because I feel like if this is the favorable treatment in terms of how he wants his mom to be seen and what was going on, it's a lot to bear for a child to know something like this, like this type of family secret. So it's a lot because it's just kind of like you're watching it and then it's like, oh my gosh, like he kind of holds the key that can ultimately, be the undoing of the family. And like, did the sisters know? Did it was seen as very explicit too? And also like from, the perspective of the time with which he grew up, like were there, mental issues at hand when it came to like decision making and things like that. And it was just a very interesting lens to look through when it came to the family dynamic. But what I really liked was kind of the behind the scenes of when he started to really pick up film and do like special effects like the war movie and and putting in like the cowboy film and putting holes in the film in order to create that special effect of gunshots. I was like, oh, I'm learning so much about film.
right. Shout out to Judd Hirsch too for his part because that was great. I wasn't expecting that in the middle. In fact, I don't even think I knew he was in it going in.
Mm-hmm.
So that was nice. And there were, certainly scenes in throughout that I thought were very funny, like the one where he's with his girlfriend when he first goes to her room and he sees all the Jesus
Oh,
posters and the cross. And how quickly he's like, yes, whatever, whatever.
yeah. He's like, I will do whatever I have to do.
Let's go to the slides. So we were close. Acting threes, cinematography. You give it a 3, I give it a 2.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the cinematography was great. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. I think I was expecting more of the like Spielberg, like firework sort of bigger
Yeah,
thing.
larger scale.
Yeah.
Like so immediately off the bat, I realized that I guess in editing or, the opening shots of a number of different scenes, the very beginning never were just straight on. They were from the lens of like it bounced off of the television and then it pulled back. And then the next scene was just like the family or it was done like through the glass, or it was done like in very interesting ways. And I was like, I really like the way that the camera is framed, and how, and the storytelling is ultimately framed to show this person who's getting ready to fall in love with film, but not from just the viewer perspective, but like how to create that magic, like how to create something larger than life and like deconstruct it. And I just thought that was so cool. And so I was like, okay, yes, cinematography, excellent. I love the costumes, like everything that Michelle Williams wore, I want. They should have had like the Fablemans collection
Right.
collaboration with somebody. They were just so cute. And it's interesting because this is supposed to be in like the 50s and the 60s. And she just wore like denim when they lived in, New Jersey, and they, denim when they lived in Arizona and California. I expected it kind of on the West Coast, but to see that she wasn't really that, proper housewife skirt and all that stuff, it was really cool to see.
Yeah, I think that's what most women wore back then. Really, like, we see images of women back then wearing their skirts, but like that, the big circle skirts, but I don't think they actually did every day. Like, I think
Yeah.
more women wore like the capri pants.
Hmm.
Jewelry, I gave it three. Or sorry, hair and makeup, three. We agree on that. Jewelry, I gave it three. I can't remember why though, because I
Oh,
watched.
was it the piece that he gave his girlfriend at the time? I
Oh,
do remember
maybe.
seeing like hints of jewelry. Um,
Yeah, maybe.
I can't think if anything like stuck out in my mind other than when he gave his girlfriend a necklace.
That was probably it. Production quality, we gave it the same. Reader's choice, we both gave it a two.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good, but like it's hard, I think the expectation is big blockbuster, as we talked about, or adaptation, and it's very hard to do. I mean, that when you're talking about your own family, and I do think that there are parts that are fantastical
Mhm.
uh in this, but it's good, and I think the story is good. And I'm definitely telling folks to see it.
I feel like it's a luxury piece, right? Like, if you have to get to a certain status as a
Yes.
director to be able to get the budget to do something like this. And it makes me
Mm-hmm.
think of Belfast. Was that last year?
Mm. Yeah,
And
last year.
when I think back on Belfast, for some reason that like hit me so much more. And maybe it's because it's an experience that I'm like so foreign to me, but I don't know. I felt like that was more impactful than this was. Soundtrack, we both gave it a two. I definitely felt like he could have done more with the soundtrack.
Yeah, compared to like other films, or like there's no John Williams. There's a few like pop songs, maybe when he was editing and playing back things that he filmed, but yeah, I thought it was pretty light.
And special effects, you gave it three.
I did. I really liked the part where I think World War I or something like that, and he showed how to do the explosion from behind, and like the balloon with the red dye, and like how his dad was helping him with like with the dolly and all these other fun stuff, or not the dolly, but like the track. And so I was like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah, yeah, that was fun. I also liked when like when all the dead soldiers got up and ran over to the next scene so
Yes.
they could be dead soldiers there.
Yeah. I feel like that happens more often. Like when seeing it in like that perspective, I feel like it happens more often than I realize. And then when I see, like, it's funny, then you then watch like the film or whatever, or you see how like everybody has so much pride in what they do, because it's such a limited budget, and especially like westerns are cheap and things like that. But it's because everybody kind of plays that role of like, you have to do this, and because we have to show like succession of things, like we have to be a part of the magic, and it's not just you're an actor or you're this or you're that, but you wear multiple hats when you're creating something.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have anything to plug in this episode?
Actually, I don't.
Okay. Neither do
How
I.
about you?
No, no pressure. I don't either. So, okay. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. See you next time.